belching, farting, gas. Oh, the three horsemen of the apocalypse when it comes to GI. Well, in this video today, we'll get down to the root and to the bottom. Yes, the actual bottom of exactly what goes on with farting, bloating, and gas. We'll answer some common questions, including why you may be farting so much and why does it stink so bad? Can you actually light your farts on fire? What? Will you die if you hold your farts in? And at the very end of the video, I'll explain exactly why you may be having more farting, bloating, and gas more than what you would like. Guys, let us literally, yes, literally talk about food. Howdy y'all, Dr. Samir here, aka your poop guru, trying to give you the best tips and tricks to help out with your health. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. I'll put a link right here where you can get great tips and tricks just like you'll learn in this video. Farting and having gas is such a normal thing to have, and a lot of people can have issues with this because they don't realize that it may be actually the normal process of them digesting their food. Can you believe you can fart up to 22 times per day? Yes! You may not even realize that you're passing gas, but you can pass that much gas. And it's actually considered normal to have at least 2 liters of gas inside your body and to expel that throughout the whole entire day. So a very common question I get as a GI doctor is, hey, Dr. Islam, why am I having gas and bloating and burping? Well, it really comes down to the bugs in your gut. The digestion occurs all throughout our GI tract, but as soon as the food hits the colon, that is where the magic happens. Yes, all that gas, all that farting, all that burping can occur whenever you produce fermentation from the gut bacteria inside your colon. Your gut bacteria are literally trillions and trillions of bacteria that are unique just to you. And that unique bacteria can digest food and either produce gas, a lot of distension, burping, farting, and a lot of bloating as well. And it's that fermentation of the gut bacteria that produces a lot of gas. So the question then becomes, so why are farts sometimes really, really smelly, but kind of blowing you away? And why do you also have sulfur burps? Here are the reasons why. Number one is that you actually may not realize that you are lactose intolerant. A lot of people digest dairy, either from coffee, creamers, yogurt, even yummy ice cream, but they don't realize that there's an atomic bomb going off in their colon as soon as they digest that milk product. And so because of that, the milk products go inside their gut, and because you can't digest, your gut bacteria goes crazy. It gets enraged. It produces a lot of gas, a lot of bloating, and a lot of distension. Number 2 are sulfur-rich foods. Now there are certain foods that we can eat that will produce more and more smelly, stinky, and really bad farting and burping as well. Now there are certain gut bacteria that actually produce certain gases like hydrogen sulfide that can make that smell really, really bad. And the foods that you eat can trigger more and more of those types of bacteria to produce more and more gas inside your gut. So foods that are high in sulfur include foods like cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and cabbage. I will tell you, it is a terrible night when I have Brussels sprouts because my wife is so angry because I'm telling you, it is a stink bomb that goes off. But it's a very common problem that people don't realize that they're having. A lot of people are trying to do a more healthy lifestyle, which I applaud you for. Yes, great job. But some of those healthy foods that we eat can really produce really, really bad gas. Other sulfur-rich foods include things like garlic, onions, legumes, dried fruit, nuts, beer, wine, and sometimes even animal protein, like good old red meat, have a lot of sulfur in them, which produce a lot of sulfurous gases, which can really stink up the whole entire room. Those foods like meats that have a lot of protein will produce a lot of sulfur gases. This is why those people who are bodybuilders get, swole, have that protein powder, they stink with their farts because it's so bad. It's so full of hydrogen sulfides, they just produce so much more gas. And this is why those locker rooms stink. Number 3 is raffinose. So you know that limerick, beans, the more you eat, the more you fart, the more you poop. I don't know, but that is actually true. Beans contain raffinose, and this is a part of a sugar group that is very commonly causing bloating, gas, and farting. And this happens because our body, our natural GI tract, does not have the enzyme to digest this particular sugar. And so once again, this is another reason why you can have gas. But let's say you're like me and you love beans, you love legumes, you want to eat that without making your partner angry. Here's what you can do. If you soak dried beans in water, this will remove the raffinose without eliminating the nutritional value. Or you can do what I do, take an enzyme supplement like Beano when you're having beans, and boom, gas is gone. Number 4 are sugar alcohols. Now, this may be a new term for you. These are sugary substitutes that we use to helpfully give us the sugary taste or that sweet taste without the calories that you get from sugar. These are things like sorbitol or xylitol, very commonly seen in things like diet drinks, sugarless gums, candies. Now, because these sweeteners cannot be fully absorbed, once again, they go into your colon, your gut bacteria are like, no, and then boom, whole bunch of fermentation, gas, and distension occurs. Now, a lot of people don't even realize that they're actually ingesting these particular foods. So here's a pro tip for you. I would recommend if you're having a lot of gas and a lot of bloating, keep a food diary. I did this trick with a patient of mine who had bloating only during the weekdays, but the weekends she was doing fine. I could not figure out exactly what was going on. I had her keep a food diary. Guess what we found? The big culprit was a big box of sugarless candies that she was eating at work. Yes, that was it. So in the morning, she would grab some, and then by late afternoon, during those meetings, she'd be so full of gas. Fix the problem, boom, doing better. Then lastly, constipation. If you can't get your bowels going all the way, that stool will just stay in your colon, cause a lot of gas and distension, and cause a lot of farting. Now, it is very common for people to not realize that just going to the restroom every single day, you can still be constipated. Absolutely. You need to have a full, effective, completely empty bowels for you to make sure you are not constipated. So make sure you're going, make sure you're happy when you go, and make sure you go effectively. Another common question I get when it comes to gas and bloating is, can you actually light your farts on fire? So the answer is, technically, yes you can. Your farts have methane and it has hydrogen. These are both flammable substances that can cause firing to occur. So I would not encourage you to light a match when you fart, but I have not heard of many cases, not any that I can think of off the top of my head, of a report of someone actually lighting themselves on fire from farting. But don't do it, guys. Don't be the first. And then another common question that I get is, can you die by holding your farts in? Guess what the answer is? No, you cannot. You will not die. It may be uncomfortable, it may feel like dying, but you cannot die, nor will you die if you hold your farts in. Guess what's gonna happen? It'll eventually will come out either through burping or eventually you're going to fart, but you will not die from that. And then lastly, common question, do women fart more than men? Guys, I'm sorry, but the answer is yes, women do! Yes! Score one for us, guys! Finally, yes. There actually was a study back in 2014. I can't believe there's actually somebody who studied this. I want to get on that paper. But in that study, they actually measured how many farts women had versus men. And I will tell you, that study conclusively said that women had more farts, but also smellier farts as well. So the data does suggest that women fart more than men. We talked about bloating, we talked about gas, we talked about some common myths. Let's give you some tips on how I recommend to get rid of farting, bloating, and gas. Tip number 1, okay, obviously it has to come down to your diet. Avoid dairy, avoid dairy, avoid dairy. If you're having any type of bloating whatsoever, any gas or distension, I would automatically eliminate dairy. Tip number 2, I would get rid of all artificial sweeteners, all diet drinks, all sugarless gums. Those sugar alcohols that you cannot digest, you may not realize that you're ingesting them. Just eliminate them all, get rid of it, get your gut cleaned out. Tip number 3, try to minimize those sulfur-rich foods, the cruciferous vegetables, the broccoli, the Brussels sprouts, the onions, get rid of them. Next tip, try to eliminate all raffinose foods, so beans, legumes, things like that. Or if you do that, use Beano instead. Next tip, try to minimize the amount of air swallowing. So many people don't realize that they swallow so much either because they're eating so fast, drinking through a straw, maybe they're talking a lot when they're eating, and by doing all those activities, you actually ingest air, and if air goes into your belly, you're gonna get distended and bloated and get bigger. There's only 2 ways to get out: burp it out or fart it out. And then lastly, if this doesn't work, you may need to be checked for a condition called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO. This is a very common condition that we're seeing more and more people who have IBS issues. They also have maybe diarrhea, bloating, and distension. And touch base with your doctor to see whether you can be tested and treated for this. Bloating, farting, and distension, very common problem to have. I hope this video gave you some great tips and a fun way of what you can do to get this taken care of for you. My question today for you: what questions do you have about gas, bloating, farting, whatever? Comment down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you want great tips just like on this video, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. I'll put a link right here. Guys, I hope you have a happy, healthy, and smell-free day. Take care. Bye.